My niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs, they under anesthesia. Shorty say she leave me, said she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood oath. So, how you feel about this truth I done showed? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want even your own people gon' disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah, yeah.
Shalom, Israel, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, the NAR. Go out 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Command and General Your Honor. Hey, get my mic, fix my mic. Today is the Sunday Scripture Breakdown class in Houston, Texas. That last chord right there. This is the Sunday Scripture Breakdown class in Houston, Texas. You understand? We in here getting it in. You know what I'm saying? Under Command and General Your Honor, if y'all got any questions, type it in. You know what I'm saying? It's been a hell of a week for us out here in Texas. And it proves that we are built and made for everything that's going on, because we the ones that's still fighting. While the world is afraid and curled up in the fetal position, we fighting. You understand? We feeding our people. We helping our brothers and sisters. And that's what this is all about, man. This brotherhood and sisterhood is to keep us having strength and courage in a time that everybody else is weak. You understand? And listen, let me tell you something, man. You can't expect somebody that's that's working for hire to take you as serious as things should be taken. Somebody that's paid to do a job will never do the job the way that somebody that has to do the job will do it. You understand? Like King David. King David fought a lion and a bear for his sheep because the sheep were his father's. Those were his sheep. So he was willing to put his life on the line for the sheep because the sheep belonged to him. Our governors and mayors in Texas proved to us this week that we are not their sheep. Right. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about us like a leader should care about his people. And what we're going to do today is show you the leadership that we have here against the leadership that's in the Bible. And the thing that you're going to be able to see and correlate it with is politicians and politics are the same as the religious practices. The same way your politicians run is the same way your pastors have ran during the coronavirus. It is the exact same thing. Every time trouble comes, the fake flee. The scriptures say the wicked flee when no man pursue it. They are afraid of the fight. They are not here for the fight. They are here for the pay. They're here for the big payoff, for the happy times, not the hard times. We here through thick and thin. We here for the good times and the bad because you are our brothers and sisters. You're not there, so you're not their responsibility. Let's start with that. Let's start with the hireling. Give me John 10 and 12. And we're going to show you how people act when they are not really responsible for you. Read what you got.
Con, sir.
Start at 11. No, start at 10.
Con. The book of John, chapter 10, verse 11. I am the good shepherd.
Start at 10.
Salaki, sir. John chapter 10, verse 10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy.
That's the white man. That's your oppressor. That's your politicians. That's your leaders. You understand? They are thieves, man. You live in one of the greatest states in the United States, Texas. And you mean to tell me with all of the money Texas has that they were not prepared for a storm? Is that what you're trying to tell me? They didn't have enough energy with the billions of dollars they make. Let me tell you something. Texas makes so much money. The reason we were not able to have enough energy is because they make enough money to have a separate grid than the United States. They have an Eastern interconnected grid. They have a Western interconnected grid. And we are hooked up to the Eastern interconnected grid. But the way the Lord is so awesome. The Eastern interconnected grid is down for maintenance. So we couldn't even get energy for them. You understand that? This is the Lord showing you no matter how much you prepare, no matter how much money you put into your system to fight against what the Lord is doing, you cannot fight against him. That's right. And guess what happened? Texas was left on their own to not be able to defend their people. And you can't sit up here and tell me it's because we don't have enough money to get this handled. Other states they have below zero weather, and they have heat, and they don't run out of heat. It's the pride of Texas's heart that was exposed. Go ahead, Doc. Get the mic.
The water, sir. The port of Houston itself makes more money than most other cities in the country, period.
Absolutely. So the port of Houston, let me tell you something. In other countries, in other cities and states, they have heaters that are connected to the plants to keep the plant from freezing. Right. Windmills froze down here. The plants froze down here. They were not prepared. They were not prepared because that's what thieves come to do. They come to steal. And why is that the first thing they say? It said a thief. Because that's really what the Lord showed you that these people that you vote for and love, they are thieves. And they stole that money from you. You pay your light bill every month on time. But the lights wasn't on time to come on when you needed it. Right. That's theft. Right. That's what it was. For you to pay for a service and not be able to retract it when you need it, that's theft. That's right. Look up the word insurance. Look up insurance. Look up the definition to the word insurance. And when you get it, read it.
This is the definition of insurance on Google. A practice or
Make sure your mic is on.
mic test.
Okay, go ahead.
Definition 1, a practice or arrangement by which a company or government agency provides a guarantee of compensation.
A what? A what?
A guarantee of compensation.
Probably?
A guarantee
Oh, okay, go ahead.
of compensation for specified loss, damage, illness, or death in return for payment of a premium.
Let me ask you a question. How can they guarantee you anything when people died in this freeze? Right. They can't give you back the people that died. Right. They can't pay you back those losses. Right. These people died because of their mishap. And a good leader knows that you are responsible for what you do know and what you don't know. You are responsible for everything when you're the leader. That's what we learned here in the Isupk under Commander General Yohana. I know I'm responsible for every man, woman, and child, whether I know everything or I don't know. My job is to take the blame anytime something goes wrong. But what did these people do? They point the finger at you. They pointed the finger at Isupk. What is it called? Isupk. They pointed the finger at everybody else except saying we were not prepared. It's our fault. We were spending money in the wrong places. That's what they didn't want to say. Read the next definition. Finish it off,
That was it on that one, sir.
Read the next one.
Number 2, a thing providing protection against a possible eventuality.
A what?
A thing providing protection against a possible eventuality.
Let me tell you something. You staying in Texas was saying you was putting all your trust and your strength and your liability in the hands of your mayors, your governors, and your senators. That's what you were saying by staying here. And they proved to you that you should never trust them again. How many times do they have to fail you in order for you to say, you know what? I'm not finna keep trusting in these people. In the Isupk, when we needed, we called each other for. Right. Brothers was up here getting generators. Brothers was up here getting beans and rice or whatever they needed so that they can feed their family. If they needed water, they came up here and got water. If they needed lights, they came up here and got lights through the generator. Right. Yes, you know why? Because we were prepared. Because we know that every day is not going to be 90 degrees. Every day we're not going to have everything that we need when it comes to our oppressor providing it. So what we do, we make provisions so that we can provide it too. Your leaders don't think like that because your leaders are bought. They are paid officials. We are not bought. This is our lives. We are married to this work. We like Captain McCall just said, we took a blood oath. You understand? When you say your name 3 times, it's death do us part. Right. That's what we know in this place. Go ahead.
So like if I could, sir, like that's just like, what you said was heavy about how we learned in the Isupk because one of the first things that I learned when I came here is about faith. In the when I come out the world in Christianity, I thought faith was just something I believe in and it's just gonna magically happen. Mm-hmm. But here I learned faith is making it happen. And like in Isupk, like we don't have to get prepared because we stay prepared. We prepare before the stuff happen, like what you just brought out, the insurance.
Absolutely. See, faith is not what they say. Faith is the evidence of things hoped for. Wait, is that right? Wait, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Let me tell you how stupid that is. Because you don't understand what that really is saying. A Christian would say, my belief is the substance of things hoped for. But your faith is actually the thing that you do to show how much belief you have. I can't measure your belief with you saying it. You can say, I believe so much that I'll die for it. Then when somebody pull a gun and say, well, are you willing to die for it? And you say, no. Then now I see how much faith you actually had. Right. I see the substance, and it wasn't as much as you said it was. Faith
It's something that you can see by what you do. Matter of fact, give me Mark. Hold that scripture that we at right now. We coming back to that. I'm finna show you faith. Give me Mark 2:4. Let me show you what faith really looks like. Go ahead.
Come, sir. The book of Mark, chapter 2, verse 4. And when they could not come nigh unto him.
This is a brother who has palsy. He was on the bed, stretched out, and his partners was trying to get him in to get healed by Christ. But they couldn't get in because it was so crowded. Go ahead.
And when they could not come nigh unto him for the press, they uncovered the roof where he was.
Stop. Let's say Commander Junior Hunter in here teaching, and it's so full you can't get in. Then all of a sudden, we start seeing brothers opening up the roof. That's what they doing, right? We start like, what the hell? And roof chips is falling in your hair. And it's some brothers opening up the roof. For what? Keep reading.
Got him a concert. They uncovered the roof where he was, and when they had broken it up, they let down the bed wherein the sick of the palsy lay. And then
they partners start coming down out the roof. Now, is that faith? Was their belief in Jesus so strong that they knew that he could send a wave outside to heal a brother? Right. No, their faith was in Christ so much that they was willing to get their ass beat. They was willing for a mob to. You tear up the roof in here, we coming to look for you. Right. Shamar is not, listen, around them is on your heels. You understand? They coming to see what you're doing. Right. And these brothers didn't care about none of that. They showing their faith. Keep reading.
Caught on concert. Verse 5. When Jesus saw their faith.
He heard their faith.
When Jesus saw their faith.
They showed their faith by believing.
When Jesus saw their faith.
What did he see? He saw works. Your works prove what you have faith in. Your pastors don't have faith in Christ because they are afraid to teach you because of the coronavirus. They stopped having church because they fear the coronavirus over the work of the Lord. They don't fear the Father, they fear the virus.
Right.
We say, who do we fear? We say the Father we fear.
Right.
They say, who do we fear? Corona we fear. Because they don't want to get sick. But we have faith that we'll die for the truth. We'll die to save our people's lives. That's our job. But you won't get that from a hireling. You won't get that from an elected official because it's not his job to die for you. It's his job just to, do whatever the job subscription say to do, and that's it. Right. He get paid and go home. Keep reading. When he saw their faith.
When Jesus saw their faith, he said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, thy sins be forgiven thee.
That's what happens when your faith is real. You do something about it. You don't just say it. You don't just feel it. You don't just believe it. Right. You put actions to go with that. Now go back to where we were just at. Our politicians show we should never believe in them again. Never. We should never have faith in them ever again. You know what this should tell you to do? This should tell blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans to prepare. Prepare like the ants. You know how the ants prepare? In the summer, the ants are getting ready for the winter. That's what they're doing. While the crops are out and there's so much food, it's plentiful, they're taking all that food in that little dirt hole that you see. And they are getting ready for the storms that are to come and the cold that is to come. So you know what they won't be doing? They won't be coming out while it's freezing cold and it's wet so they can get washed away. They won't be coming out while it's freezing cold so that they can get frozen. They sit in that little anthill and eat and sleep and make more babies so that they can be safe. That's what you should do. Blacks and Hispanics should be going out And now, because Commander General Yohana told you to prepare for the winter wind in the summer. In the summer, Commander General Yohana, a real leader, gave you a list of things that you could get while everything was plentiful. Right. While the harvest was ripe, it was so much. Listen, while everybody's calming down, go out and get your batteries, go and get your water, go and get all the things you need, get you a generator, get all of that. And everybody was like, okay, yeah, I see that. Until last week. Oh, what do we do? We was sitting there looking like, yeah, we got the water, we got the this, we got the flashlights, we got all this, we ready. You know why? Because we have a good leader that looks out for us. That's right. We have a man that's not a hireling. He's married to this truth. He's married to his brothers and sisters because he's willing to die for this family. And that's what a husband is supposed to do for his family, die for it. We in the Isupk, we are husbands to our nation, right, because we're willing to die for our people. Keep reading now.
Khan, sir. The book of John, chapter 10, verse 10. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. Mm-hmm. I am come that they might have life, mm-hmm, and that they might have it more abundantly.
The thief, your oppressor, comes to kill you, keep you in sin, keep you distracted from what's really going on. But Christ said he come to give you life so that you can live and not be under these curses, not be destroyed, and not be distracted. Distraction is one of the biggest keys to death. You see what I'm saying? By you not paying attention to what's really going on, when it pops up, you are not ready for it. You are distracted. It's like seeing a lady in a red dress and then you turn around, it's a pistol in your face. That distraction is what caused your death because you're not focused. You're not paying attention to what's really going on around you. Keep reading.
Khan, sir, verse 11. I am the good shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep.
That's what we are here teaching. We teaching what Christ taught. And we give our lives for you, for our brothers and sisters. We're willing to go out and fight the oppression of the enemy and the drug dealers in the community and the damn LGBTQ RSTUV community. We willing to fight against the feminist movement, the abortion clinic. We fighting the Proud Boys. Give Commander Junior Hunter a hand. God damn, that was beautiful. I'm gonna watch that on the way home on my 3-hour drive. You understand? That is what we are willing to do. And it was so beautiful in this. Now, let me say this. This was so heavy. This was heavy to me about that. If I could sidetrack for a second. They had a moderator, which was a white man, right? And the Proud Boys are a known white supremacist group. They had the white moderator. He was not arguing with Commander General Yohana. He was moderating blacks arguing back and forth with Hispanics. He is a devil if you never seen one before. I mean, he just doing his job. He's making you fight with your brother about, and Enrique was so, he think he's fighting for his people, but his people is the right wing. His people is not blacks and Hispanics. He said, I only want to do business with people on the right wing. I don't want to do business with nobody else. I want to help my people. So he's taken his social class and made that his family. That is what the white man, as long as you can put your energy into everybody else and not your own people, he doing your job. Right. And you know what he said? How can we join with you? Because you know what Enrique and Asher, do you know what them two job was or is in the Proud Boys? Their job in the Proud Boys is to take the fall whenever the shit hits the fan. When you think about the Proud Boys, who do you think about now? Enrique. They got his face plastered all over the news as the FBI informant and agent and all this. You don't know about Bobby. You don't know about Todd and Ted and Chad. You don't know about any of those people. You know about this Mexican that's fighting for the Proud Boys. So you know what they said? How can we get you all involved so that we can blame it on you? Commander General Hunter said, just get rid of all the white people. Get rid of all the white people and y'all can join us. Y'all can join us. You see what I'm saying? Because we're not sellouts. You understand? Keep reading.
Kind of sir. Verse 12. But he that is a hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, sees the wolf coming and leaves the sheep.
That's what we're trying to get you to understand. That the shepherd, our politicians, they are shepherds that are not really shepherds. Salakia. Amber. See, you know Amber, it's got to be a white woman. It's a white woman. It's Amber alert. It ain't a Shaniqua alert. They lifted the boil thing? Okay, no sweat. So, read that again one more time.
Kind sir. Verse 12. But he that is a hireling and not the shepherd.
That's your governors, your mayors. They not the shepherds like we are. Go ahead.
Kind. Whose own the sheep are not. Sees the wolf coming.
Who are the sheep? We are. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, the Lord's children. He said the hireling and the sheep, they're not really together. Because the hireling doesn't see the sheep as something that he has to live and die for. Go ahead.
Kind. He sees the wolf coming and leaves the sheep and flees.
You see that? He sees the wolf coming. What's the wolf this week? The snow. And see it and do what?
And fleeth.
And do what?
And fleeth.
Let me get Ted Cruz. Give me the Ted Cruz article. Yeah, let me show you your hireling. We just read about your hireling in the Bible. Now we're going to show you your hireling in real life. Yeah. The Bible, you know what the Bible is called? It's called the living word. That's why, this is why it's called the living word, because it's never outdated. You found it?
Sir, you ain't sent me to Ted Cruz.
Okay, no sweat. I can tell you about him. Go ahead. Gabba, you got something? Go ahead.
So I was going to say that Ted Cruz catch flights and not feelings. You know what I'm saying? He ain't worried about no niggas.
Ted Cruz said, Captain Kahan said, we're going to start calling Ted Cruz cruise control. That's what we're going to call him, because he had to get the hell out of here. You got the article?
Yeah, well, a little something.
All right, go ahead. What you got?
All right, sir. Senator Ted Cruz flew to Cancun, Mexico with his family this week as Texas dealt with a winter storm that, as on Thursday, still has left 500,000 without power.
Now, let me tell you what Ted Cruz said. Ted Cruz said it was time for him to be a good father as the storm come. And you know what he said? Let me get the hell out of here. Oh, go ahead.
Cruz addressed the trip in a statement on Thursday afternoon. With school canceled for the week, our girls asked to take a trip with friends.
Stop. He made it seem like it was spring break. He made it seem like school was canceled because it was President's Day or it was Teachers and Servants Day. He said, I felt this was a great opportunity to take my kids out to Cancun. No, you didn't. You were trying to get them away from the storm. Right. Because this is not, you don't want to suffer with the people. Because these are not, you don't care about the people. You're not a good leader. Right. Keep reading.
Concert. Wanting to be a good dad, I flew down with them last night and am flying back this afternoon.
Come on now.
My staff and I are in constant communication with state and local leaders.
My who?
My staff and I are in constant communication with state and local leaders to get to the bottom of what happened in Texas.
Stop. Where is he at? He's in safety. But you know who got to not be in safety? His staff. Y'all stay here. I'm gonna go to higher ground. Y'all let me know what's happening down here on the lower level. That's your leaders, man. That's what you got. And these are the people that you have been trusting in, and they have done nothing to deserve your trust. This system has always done this. They've always ran. Joel Osteen, Hurricane Harvey. What did he say? He said he don't want to see nobody pulling up at his church. I got security in the church all day and night. You pulling up, you going to jail, or we shooting. That's what Joel Osteen said at his church. Until people started blasting him for it, then he, I think Joel Osteen went out of town and left doing Hurricane Harvey too. Yeah, I think he left too. He said, man, it's raining. A matter of fact, I think he had like a yacht or something. He took his boat somewhere. He caught the high wave. He was, man, come on now. That's your leaders. Now keep reading. The scripture.
Yeah, kind of what concert. And leaves the sheep and fleeth. Mm-hmm. And the wolf catches them and scatters the sheep.
And that's what happens to us, man. We're destroyed by the wolf. Whatever the wolf may be, whether it's the white man, the laws, the rain, the sleet, the snow, whatever wolf comes, we have no protection as long as we depend on them for protection. And that's why it's time right now to do what we should have always done, and that's separate. Let me tell you who don't have a problem with separating. I bet you can't guess. Who don't have a problem with separating? If you lived here this week, who does not have a problem with separating? It's right in your face. And see, that's how we get slapped. The answer is right in your face, and you can't.
The leadership, the failed leadership.
I need it's one word.
The rich.
Say that again. No. I ain't think you said that. I thought I should. What you got? I would say that. No. Who does not have a problem with separating in the United States? If you are living here right now this week. What you gonna say?
Texas.
Give them a hand. Texas believes in separating. That's the reason we was cold this week. Because they separated from the United States. Our power grids are not joined to the eastern and the western power grids. They have their own separate power grids. They believe in separation. We live in Texas, don't we? Shouldn't we believe in separating too? We should be just like our state. We should separate too. That's what we should do. You know who I didn't see on the news complaining about being cold? Chinese people. They lights went out. They wasn't on the news looking like they ain't have nothing to eat. They wasn't out there shivering. You know why? Because Chinese people took care of each other. What were we doing? Complaining on Facebook. Ooh, it's so bad. Texas. Shut up. Always complaining. What you should do is prepare. That's what you do. You get ready, and when you get ready for stuff, you don't have to worry about how it happens. You are already waiting on it. I got batteries and stuff sitting in the drawer just getting old because I ain't never using them. I was ready to put them batteries in that flashlight this week. I was like, oh yeah, it's time. Boop, boop, boop. Flick, flick, flick. Yeah, the big old round ones. I was ready to put them in there because it was time. That's what I prepared for. Go ahead.
We were too busy going to Chinese and Arab. We were too busy. We were too busy going to Chinese and Arab stores and restaurants to see if they were open. Mm-hmm. That's our problem. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, give them a hand. As soon as it got bad, we ran to them. We're like, man, is the store open? I need some chimichangas. I want the wing dinner. Let me tell you something. The lines are around the corner right now for some chicken fried rice. I need some hot food. You make better hot food than them. I don't even understand it. Hey, give the sisters a hand for that food yesterday. Let me tell you something about this right here. Let me tell you something. This right here, listen. Let me tell you something. This thing right here, I know I eat meals every day. If you see me on the regular, you know I eat good. But this, listen, it's penicillin in this. It's a heater in this. This tastes like gumbo, red beans and rice, hamburger helper. I mean, anything with rice in it, this tastes like it. And I know them homeless brothers and sisters ate this, and they mad at us because they ate it all. They gonna be looking for us next week to get some more of this. Give our sisters a hand, because you know what? You know what our sisters did? As soon as the lights came on, they wasn't thinking about themselves. They thought about others. See, this is how you get the kingdom. The way the kingdom comes is not by being a great leader, because we already have a leader. It's about being a great servant. That's what we have to be. We have to be servants. We should be competing on being the best servant. Who's the best servant? We can outserve you. We can outserve. And that's what we do in the UPK. When you see us with these different schools in different cities, we are challenging each other on who can outserve each other. You know what I'm saying? Like in Texas, we outserving you over here. Because we know what is right. We know what it's about. Your pastor is not trying to serve. He's trying to get. He's trying to take. That's why the scripture calls him a thief. Salakia. Go ahead. You gotta. Oh, go ahead, Doc.
Going out on one con. Just to reiterate on what you were saying about being prepared. Where I live at, there's a lot of Edomites that like to walk their dogs and everything and do what Edomites do. Mm-hmm. And I do a lot of grilling. I do a lot of barbecuing outside. And they would always like look at me funny, or why is he always grilling outside? Look at this nigga always grilling outside. Until the lights went off.
Right.
And I pulled out that grill and I boiled water to give my baby a bath. And my wife went out there and she made chicken Alfredo on the coals.
God.
Then they were like, "Oh, we got some meat in the fridge.
Right.
Put it on."
Right.
Commander General Yohana teaches us, not to be evil to them.
Absolutely. That's why we are fit to rule. Give him a hand. You see what I'm saying? That's why we should be the leaders. Now watch this. Now look at this. Guess who had to feed the rich? The poor. The poor had to show the rich how to survive once again, because that's what we do. Because the earth was made for our sakes. The white man don't know how to survive in the cold. He don't know what to do. He don't know how to survive when the hard times come. We used to not having lights and water. We don't have the money to pay the light and the water bill all the time, so we know how to survive. We know to boil water. We know the little tricks. We know how to get your cable out your house. So we know how to survive in it. Go ahead, Doc.
No, Salakia, to your point and to what Officer Shapariala just said is so heavy what you're saying is that the poor had to feed the rich, and this is just, history repeating itself.
Right.
Because when they came to the Americas and the Native Indians dealt with them for not knowing how to deal with the cold, how to feed themselves, they provided that service to them, and then, the oppressor slaughtered them.
That's right.
And then set up a day to celebrate their slaughter. And the deep part about it is that we didn't learn, even though we should be civilized, but we didn't learn from that, because they're gonna come and take our food, and then when everything is back in their favor again, get right back to oppressing all over again.
That's right. Give them a hand. See, this is what we know in the UPK. You know what I'm saying? Our nation needs leaders, but our nation needs more servants. You understand? Everybody is not and your leaders are supposed to be servants. That's what leadership is. That's what our king taught us. Matter of fact, let me get that. Let me get Matthew 10 and 42. Let me show you what Christ said about leadership. This should help you. Go ahead, read what you got.
Come on, sir. The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 42. And whosoever shall give 10 and 42, sir?
Is that the one?
You wanted the greatest, right?
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Hold on, I think it's Mark 10 and 42. I think that's what I think that's the wrong one. Yeah, Mark 10 and 42. Salakia.
So the book of Mark, chapter 10, verse 42. But Jesus called to them and said unto them, ye know that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them.
Stop. That's what your governors and mayors do. They look at you from a standpoint of you are my servants. So I don't have to go through the struggle with you. I don't have to go through what you go through because I'm the Lord. I'm the overseer. So I'm not going to go through this with you. This is what the peasants go through. The people at the bottom. They exercise lordship over you. Go ahead.
And their great ones exercise authority upon them.
That's what they doing to us. Exercising authority. This ain't no humility. They not trying to, be in the mud with us. They go to safety, to higher ground and safe. And then, Lord willing, they pray for us. Like your pastor. Your pastor gets your money, take all your money. Then when you need help, pray. Everybody leaves you to have a relationship with God. But when it comes to you having to help them, then they need action. When they want you to vote, you need to get out and vote. When they need them tithes paid, you need to pay your tithes. That's something you have to do. But with them, they don't have to do anything. That's exercising lordship. Sitting up, twiddling your thumbs, waiting on something to be done. Keep reading.
Sir. But so shall it not be among you.
But what?
But so shall it not be among you.
Read that one more time.
Sir. But so shall it not be among you.
They can do like that. They can operate like that. Not us. That's not how we operate. Keep reading.
Sir. But whosoever shall be great among you shall be your minister.
Do you know what it means to minister? To serve. Whoever is great among you, you the one got to do the most service. I'm the highest ranked man in here. I have to deal with everybody's problems. I have to be on the phone, do all the counseling. When you go to court, I'm thinking about your court date the same time you thinking about it. I'm laying in bed like, man, this brother got to go to court tomorrow. Lord, be with this brother. Ooh-wee, this is not looking good on this case. He had 7 warrants before he got this new charge. Lord, I'm thinking about your problems before you are. You understand? Keep reading.
Sir. Verse 44. And whosoever of you will be the chiefest shall be servant of all.
Shall be servant of who?
Servant of all.
Shall be served by all?
Servant of all.
You are going to be the servant of everybody. Right. Commander General Yohana is our servant. You understand? We serve and he serves us. You understand how it works back and forth? You understand? That's how the system is set up that the Lord left us. But your oppressor has a system to oppress you and to make you the servant. Right. But guess what? You are not important until it's time to vote. The only time it's about the people is when the people have to get him in the seat. Right. Until then, after he get in his seat, then it's about him. Now he good. Now it ain't got hey, I got to get up out of here. I got to leave. Matter of fact, let me get what that mayor said. Let's get what that mayor said that resigned. Let's listen at this. Now you want to see a cold case right here. Check this devil out. Now that's a new. It's one thing to know that that the white man is the devil, right? But for them to show it is another thing. And this is what baffles me about blacks and Hispanics. Blacks and Hispanics reading the same article I'm reading, and they still saying we got to love each other. They still saying we got to unify, and, what about the good one? Well, this is supposed to be a good one. This is a rich politician. Well, let's see how he feels about you. The people whose votes he needs every 4 years, every 2 years. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. The mayor of a small West Texas town has resigned after lashing out at constituents who have been paralyzed by this week's devastating cold snap. Colorado City Manager David Hoover told NBC News that Mayor Tim Boyd stepped down on Tuesday, but the administrator declined further comment. In a widely circulated Facebook post that has outraged many, Boyd told town residents to stop complaining about the cold weather.
What did he say?
To stop complaining about the cold weather.
So it's 13 degrees out here that feel like 3, and he telling you to shut the hell up. You got babies in the house. You got, your wife in the house. You a man, you can put up with it. You can deal with it. But you can't sit there and watch your babies and your wife freeze to death. Right. And it's nothing that you can do. You're helpless because it's a natural disaster. It's not a disaster because you sitting in the house because you didn't pay your bill. It's because they turned the lights off. The bill is paid. Right. They turned off the lights because of their mismanagement. Because they didn't have their stuff together. Now they telling you, oh, well, shut up. Keep reading.
Khan, sir. Quote, no one owes you or your family anything.
They wasn't saying that when it was time to pay that bill. You paid that bill, and now you asking them for the lights you paid for, and they say what?
No one owes you or your family anything.
Yes, you do. Because I paid for it. You do owe me. You owe me lights. You owe me heat. You owe me water. The white man's like, don't nobody owe you nothing. Oh, it gets better. Keep reading.
Nor is it the local government's responsibility.
Nor is it whose? Nor
is it the local government's responsibility to support you during trying times like this.
Well, whose responsibility is it? I'm going to tell you whose responsibility it is. Coming to the Isupk under Commander General Hunter.
That's right.
Just do that. Because they are relinquishing their power. They're giving their power up. They're saying that, look, we're not the powers. We don't have the game plan to help you out. We do. Commander General Hunter sent out the game plan in June. We've been knew this was coming because we are the Lord's priests and prophets.
That's right.
You understand? Keep reading.
Cotton, sir. Sink or swim. It's your choice.
Come on now. This your leader, your governor, your mayor. Sink or swim, it's your choice. Keep reading.
Boyd wrote in the post on his Facebook page, which was later copied on the Mitchell County Issues Community Forum.
And let me tell you something. When the scriptures say that the earth will help the woman, Facebook has been an excellent tool to help blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to know how evil your oppressors are. And that spirit of racism and hating you is still in them. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of these tools that's in this earth right now are helping you see that nothing has changed since the 60s and the 40s and the early 1900s. They are the same people. Your governors and mayors were the same children looking up on those postcards. Right. On those postcards where your ancestors and grandparents were being hung. That's them kids that were standing there not crying. Just imagine how crazy and ruthless you have to be. Think about the mindset of a 5 or 6 year old little boy watching a murder. Watching a man be murdered, not passed away. I've seen people pass away before, and I still see it in my mind. I'm talking about be murdered, like hung from a tree. Before he was just talking, we moved the board. He drops down and he's dying in front of me. And I'm doing this. Right. And I'm a 7 and 8 year old little boy and girl. Not flinching, not having no problem with it. That's a devil, Locke. Not having no emotions. Don't care about it. That's a devil. And that's the people that you say we should love. That's your mayors, your governors, and your senators right now. Keep reading.
Sir. The quote, the city and county, along with power providers or any other service, owes you nothing.
Listen to that. The city, the county, any provider, we don't owe you nothing. Even though you paid, we don't owe you nothing. That's like going into the gas station and paying for asking for 20 on pump 3, and then you go out there and you like, hey man, you ain't turned the pump on? Man, I don't owe you nothing. No, what you mean? What? Now, if somebody, now watch this. If you went in there and put your 20 on pump 2, and they didn't give you your $20, what would you do? It'll be a big problem. Why isn't it a problem right now? Why right now the lights are on, everybody's doing good, we back to normal. Why is there not a problem with the people that had your lights off when you were helpless? Why is no one having a problem with this? Why do we have to sit up here in these class and bring this out to make you see that that was wrong? You know why? Because you are in a slave mentality into believing that everything is all good. It was just, it's nothing that they could do. So you mean to tell me it's nothing that Chicago could do? Because Chicago ain't having blackouts in the snow. It snowed harder in Chicago than it did down here, and they had lights and water. So why didn't we? And you don't feel that there's a problem? You are the problem. And it's because your leadership didn't teach you that the white man is the devil. Go ahead, Art.
Hey, so like you, sir, if I could, like when all this stuff was going down, it's crazy because that you say that, because brothers from those areas like New York, Chicago was like asking, like, hey, damn, y'all, why y'all complaining about the, complaining, what's going on? Like, they didn't understand. And what we wasn't really complaining about the snow. It was the fact that these devils couldn't maintain the power. We without power, we without cell phone, we can't even talk to each other really. It was just so, it was hard to be able to even communicate, to get help. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't understand it, and it's because of these devils. Like this whole subject, everything we talking about, the grid and all this stuff. The people in them places like, look, we get snow all the time. What y'all complaining about? Like,
and you know what? People always say, the devils y'all got down there, they a little more nicer than the devils we got up here. Y'all just don't know. This is still the South. These the same devils that that's all for lynching and murdering niggas. They showing you right now. This article is proving this is a mayor. This is one who makes decisions for us. This is our voice. Our voice just said, shut up. There's nothing wrong with you. We don't owe you nothing. They supposed to be the voice to the people. The voice of the people, right?
Right.
Go ahead,
Khan. Just real quick, what you were bringing out earlier, we're supposed to be the United States. And in things like that, we're not united, right? So they unorganized as far as that. They can throw away, they can throw away that title. The other thing is, when it's our fault, it's our fault. When it's their fault,
it's our fault. Damn right. Give them a hand. God damn, boy. That's it. When it's our fault, it's our fault. But when it's their fault, it's our fault. And you know what you say? We still got to be joined together and love them. We still need to come together. Unity. You don't see what unity with them gets you? Go ahead, sis.
I was going to say it speaks to, I guess, how they see us, because we were like, for example, I still don't have running water. Like, it's not even a trickle, right? And you all know what you have to go through if you don't have running water. Right. Who decided that I was okay with that? Like, who decided that for 7 days I could deal with that? Who knew that I don't deal, I've never lived like that.
Right.
I clutch my pearls. Y'all don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So who decides that it's okay for me to live like a savage in 2021?
The devil that the Bible speaks of. He chooses, this is his kingdom. He can do what the hell he want to do. Go ahead, sis. Give her the mic. You just a slave.
That just brought me back to, too. I even though old dude was Israel, he said that, black people need white people to govern them.
Damn.
They couldn't function without being governed by white people. So in their mindset, they feel like they can do whatever they want to us because we don't even know how to govern ourselves or to live without them dictating what's right or what's wrong for us.
Give her a hand, because that's coming to my point. That's coming to my next point. They feel like that we don't have the leadership that we should have in order to govern ourselves when they were talking to our leadership. They were talking to the very ones that do have the answers. They looking at black people because they are looking at us from the standpoint of Jesse Jackson, the standpoint of Martin Luther King. They not looking at us from the standpoint of Commanding General Hunter and the Isupk. Go ahead, Art.
The water, sir. That's why when we say the part of the phrase that says that the Bible speaks of is so important. We say the white man's the devil because that the Bible speaks of gives it verifies, gives it clarity, so you understand who you're dealing with.
Right.
You understand the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Damn
one
right.
phrase you can tell everything what's going on in the earth and in Houston. So like you.
That's right. Keep up. Go ahead, Art. Then we're gonna get back to the article. You got the article, Habana? I mean, Tapazar? Okay.
One more thing, sir, that we haven't brought out yet about this whole powwow this stuff is, like, I ain't no detective or nothing, but I was talking to all my people and stuff in these low poverty areas, and I noticed that the people that I was talking to, because I have people in Sugar Land, I got and the people that was in Sugar Land was saying, yeah, our power went out. Like, how long they was out? Oh, it went out for like 6 hours and it came back on. I'm like, damn. And then, I stand dead in.
Right.
And I'm like, we lost power for like 30 hours one time. Some other people that I was talking to that live in other poor areas lost power for like 2 days. Like, so I noticed that they supposed to have did the rolling blackouts, but the places, the most poor places saw the blackout for longer periods. Like, I'm talking about up to 2 days.
So let me help you out with that. I'm glad you brought that out. So ERCOT, right? The energy that we have that supplies us. Okay, let me tell you what they did. They utilized the energy the same way you utilize energy when you hook something up to a generator. When you hook your house up to a generator, then you only use the things that's important. So you say, okay, I need the refrigerator. I need one TV in this room. I'm gonna need the washer and dryer, and that's going to be enough for this. It's a 1500 watt generator. That's gonna fill my 1500 watts up. Everything else is not important. You were all the other switches that were turned off because you were not important. It was no need to hook you up because there was you just a black man or Hispanic. You in the ghettos. But the Woodlands and the Sugar Land, their stuff is valuable. Downtown was lit up like a Christmas tree the whole entire time. And then Sylvester Turner was telling them to turn off the lights. He was begging. Downtown needs to turn off the lights. What was they saying? No. Keep reading.
To end quote. I'm sick and tired of people looking for a damn handout. He went on to write that anyone complaining about the cold must be lazy and products of bad parenting.
It's your mama's fault. It's your mama's fault your lights went out. That's what your mayor said. Your mayor said it's bad parenting. Y'all should have went out there and made some generators. Right then. The lights out. You supposed to just make a pot. You a Dragon Ball Z nigga. You supposed to warm the house up with the power source that come out your body. Use your melanin. That's what the white man just told you. He told you to invent. You the inventors of the air conditioner and the light bulb and the ceiling fan and the spoon. Why can't you just make something now? That's what he told you. Yeah, y'all soup, y'all jumping all up high. Y'all the chosen people, huh? All right, well, warm your house up. And if you ain't warming your house up, it's because of you're a product of your environment. You're lazy. You have bad parents. But dang, you put the crack in my community. You our parent. You master.
Right.
So if you're going to say bad parents, you the bad parent. You see what I'm saying? Like, the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? The Bible is talking about this type of wickedness all through it. You know why? Because they were the same way back then, with skirts on and sandals and swords hanging off their hip. Go ahead, Doc.
No, just real quick, Saran, it's heavy, man, and what Sis brought out earlier, too, because, like, you know, when with the Asherite talking about how black people ain't going to be able to function without white people governing over them, I know Jesse Lee Peterson said the same thing, that we need white people to rule over us for things to run well. They put black men in prison or, you know, take their licenses, driver's licenses away for not paying child support. When their responsibility to support the people, there's no penalty for them when they fail as a government or as local leaders. Nobody's putting them in prison. Mm-hmm. Nobody's taking away revoking their status as a leader when they fail like that. But so it's like they hold themselves not guilty. They'll apply the law to us, but then hold themselves not guilty when they fail. Because we are about righteous leadership. Anybody can have leadership, but you can't have righteous leadership unless you in the UPK. That's right. The world gonna prove it to you. Y'all gonna be beating down these doors, and we gonna open them. That's the cold part about it. Y'all look like Power Ranger people, and all them people that got something to say about us. We are going to open the doors for you when you come running and crying, because we have something your leaders do not have, and that's compassion. Leaders, this man has no compassion. Right. People are freezing to death, literally, and he's telling you to shut up. He's telling you, you know, it's going to be okay, because he has no compassion. Let me tell you something about my king. My king was dying on a cross, and he said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Right. Our king was seeing his people say, crucify him. And he looks up to the Father and say, Lord, forgive them. They don't know what they're saying. Jesus wept. Why? Because he had compassion for his brothers. That's why he's our king. He's the leader of all leaders. His sacrifice was his service. That's what his service was. It was him dying on the cross. That's his ministry. We still talk about his ministry right now. His service, not his garment, not how rich he was, not his horses, not his mansion. All we talk about is what he did for us in servitude. That's right. That's a leader. That's a real leader. And that's who we model our lives after. That's what this school is modeled after. Real leadership, man. Because that's what we need to save our people. Go ahead. You got some more on that? Yeah, come on, sir. This is another quote. If you don't have electricity, you step up and come up with the game plan to keep your family warm and safe. If you have no water, you deal with it and think outside of the box to survive and supply water to your family. Boy, continue. If you were sitting at home in the cold because you have no power and are sitting there waiting for someone to come and rescue you because you're lazy, and it's a direct result of your raising.
Do you hear that? That's your leader right there. America, Texas, these are the people that you chose. The Isupk, we don't vote. And this is why we don't vote. This is why, because we know that these people don't care about us. They care about getting in the seat so that they can go to Cancun when the stuff hit the fan. Right. You see what I'm saying? They care about getting in the seat so that they can leave when it's time for you to die. If it was a world catastrophe coming, guess who's going into the bunkers? Them. Right. The rich. Right. Guess who's going out to the space station? Them. That's why they want to be there. That's their provision on protecting their family. There's nothing you can do about that. The only thing that you can do is love another black Hispanic man. That's all you can do. And that's what Christ told us to do. That's a very easy thing to do. It's hard to get into the bunkers. It's hard to get on that list. It's $1 million, $3 million a person to get into a bunker. It's kind of hard to come up with. But you know what ain't hard to do? Look at a black and Hispanic and say, man, if I got it, you got it. Which you got lights and I got water. I'm going to come over there and stay, but if y'all got to go to the restroom, we're going to go next door and we're going to take showers. That's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out how to do this, but I'm not going to say that, oh, man, forget you. Oh, man, whatever you got, no. And that's why we're in this predicament, because the white man has taught us to be selfish like him. We've learned his characteristics. Another thing about leadership, go ahead, Art.
So, at the end of that article, what he says is that's a direct, show of how you was raised. And he's kind of partially right. As blacks, Hispanics, and natives, we were raised to put our trust in the devil. And this is a direct result of us putting our trust in the devil. You know what I'm saying? That's
right. Give him a hand. Another thing about being a leader is accountability and responsibility. Our oppressor did not want to be accountable for this. Who did he blame this on? The people. And who else? Urquhart. This is Urquhart's fault. They were supposed to be the ones that they over the energy. They are pointing their fingers at the electric company, but they are the ones that made them over us. See, that's why what we learn the truth is so important. There is always someone to blame. Go ahead, Art.
They want to say it's not their fault. It's the ERCOT, the electrical company's fault. But those same politicians are the ones who allowed ERCOT to not make provisions for cold weather or the natural disasters like this.
That's
really,
the point.
They're a direct result of this everything going on in Texas.
Exactly. They are the reason ERCOT was underfunded. You know, politicians, they don't make a lot of money, right? They make about, what, $80,000 a year? $70,000, $80,000. That's because they got to leave some room for the stealing. God damn. They got to leave a little room on top. Okay, they're getting a $400,000 grant. Give me $100,000. Now he just made $170,000. That's our one grant. Now he got his hands on everything, and he just taking off of everything at the top. That's why. Go ahead, Art.
And if I may, what's so heavy, sir? That's the classic sign of our oppressor always sets it up to where he can throw a rock and hide his hand.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So with those politicians, right, a lot of them sit on those boards of those companies. A lot of them were previous CEOs of those companies. So what they do is they become politicians, take the lobbying money, right? Because lobbying firms, they're set up, they make millions of dollars, and they funnel that to these politicians. Same thing with these movie stars and stuff, and these celebrities. They set up these foundations and all these things, right? That aren't taxed and none of that stuff, and they funnel that money into them. So when they get done, supposedly being a public servant, they're rich by the time they get out.
That's
right. You see
right.
what I'm saying? So the whole aspect of it is they always set up to where somebody can take the blame. You understand? But here in the Isupk, brother, the way we set up our leadership is instead of trying to pass the blame, you take accountability, man, and you prepare like Commander Johanna has done for us.
Give him a hand. Somebody give me 1 Samuel 15 and 24. Let me show you what our governors and mayors said, what Abbott said. Abbott said it's the people's fault. Read what it say.
Verse 24. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice.
He said, it's not my fault. Yeah, I sinned, but it's because of the people. I feared the people, and I listened to them. So if I'm listening to the people, then whose fault really is it? The people's fault. That's what your leaders, they cannot take accountability for their actions and their decision making. They signed off on ERCOT, it's their fault. They said ERCOT could give energy to the whole state of Texas. And another thing about it is Texas prides itself on being the energy state of America. You pride yourself on being the state of energy. And the Lord showed you that destruction comes before with pride. Your pride is why the Lord is destroying you. You saying that you the state of water flow, he gonna make you have a drought. You the state of energy, he gonna make your energy go out. The Lord is gonna show you that you're not ready for him at all, on no level, no form or fashion. Nothing that you can do to prepare yourself will ever be able to prepare yourself for the Most High and what he got going on. You understand? Go ahead, Shaw.
On being a state that could secede from the Union and sustain itself. Salakia.
We can't sustain ourselves with the snow. What we gonna do if it's time to fight? You understand? Just because we got the Lord, we got Fort Hood, you know what I mean, and so a couple other reserves here, doesn't mean we can be divided from the rest of the country. But if Texas can separate, so can we. If Texas can separate from everybody, we can too. We should follow. We should follow them in that. That's what we should do. Go ahead. What you holding something else for me?
So I was just gonna say that they based that succession off of Texas economy because they said that Texas has the economy of a small country. Apart from the United States, but that just lets you go that that level of independence and separation is not based on riches. It's not based on military, or it's not based on having like military power. It's based on leadership,
right?
Which they don't have, so they can never really separate. But we do have the right leadership, which is the reason why we should separate.
Absolutely. Give that brother a hand. Can I get the book of Numbers, chapter 16? I'm on number 16. I want to start at like 46. Let me tell you something. This is the way that you get out of, let me tell you, somebody called me this week and said, the reason this happened was because of HARP. And it said, somebody else called me and said, it was because of the weather control. Yeah, they were saying the weather control, they trying out the weather control machines and they don't know how to use them yet. I'm serious. These are real phone calls. So, ain't people in the truth. It's scared people in the world, the conspiracy theorists, right? So this is what I want you to understand. Let me tell you something, and I'm trying to give you something to have faith in. One thing black people need is hope. We don't have hope in the right thing, so I'm trying to give you something to have hope in. And this is for the people that called me this week. I told you to watch class, and I did this last so you can hear everything else I said before this. Now, if the white man did it, then there's nothing you could do to stop him. If it was HARP, if it was the weather control machine and all of that, then there is nothing that you can do to stop him. But we know it was the Lord that did it.
That's right.
We know it was the Lord that had his hands in all of this. And since it is the Lord, there is something that you can do to stop it. The Lord say, I the Lord do all these things. So if you're going to give the credit to anybody, or if you want to find out how to make it stop, you should come to the Lord, and you should come to his priests. Now we're going to read an incident when the people was wicked and evil, and they was, we're going to read it.
Khan. And Moses said unto...
Tell them book and chapter.
Salakia, sir. The book of Numbers, chapter 16, verse 46. And Moses said unto Aaron, take a censer and put fire therein.
Let me tell you, this is a censer right here. That's it right there. That's hanging from the roof. But it's an incense burner. He said, take the incense burner and put fire therein. Go ahead.
And put fire therein from off the altar, and put on incense, and go quickly unto the congregation.
Go into the world.
Unto the congregation.
Go to all nations.
Unto the congregation.
Go, you hear what it's saying, right? It's saying go to the family. Go to our people, the gathering of Israel. Go ahead.
Khan. and make an atonement for them.
Stop. The Lord is the one that did this. If you want it to stop, just make an atonement. Why don't you just give yourself up as a sacrifice? Why don't you die? Why don't you kill yourself? Why don't you kill who you used to be? Kill the hoe, the homosexual, the drug addict. Kill the pimp, the prostitute. Kill the murderer. Kill the adulterer. Kill the abortionist. Kill the druggie. Kill everything in you that the Lord hates. And make an atonement. That's what the Lord wants. The Lord don't want your bulls. The Lord wants a broken and contrite spirit. This code was to break you. Guess what? I bet you was so many people this week talking to the Lord. Ooh, they was talking in sincerity. Ooh, Lord, please, it's cold. Ooh. If you would, Lord, in the name of Jesus. I know it was some in the name of Jesus is going up this week. Well, make an atonement. That's what you do. Keep reading.
Sir. For there is wrath gone out from the Lord.
This is the love of God. Read that again.
For there is wrath gone out from the Lord.
Let me tell you what you just felt this week. You felt the Lord's anger towards Valentine's Day. You felt the Lord's anger towards what's that God? Lucretia or something like that? Lupricilia or something like that? Yeah, whatever her name is. You felt his anger. You felt how cold his heart was toward this other God. That's what you felt. And he had a cold heart. Did you feel it? I felt it. Yeah. He had a cold heart toward Valentine's Day. Well, why don't you just say, you know what, Lord, I ain't going to do none of that no more. I'm going to prove it to you when Easter come up. No eggs. Because guess what? The Lord going to mess with you on Easter if you keep playing with him. You ain't going to be able to run from him. You can't run from his wrath. Keep reading.
The plague is begun.
The what?
The plague is begun.
The plague is beginning. The coronavirus was the beginning of the plague. And right when you start to think it's coming down, they tell you it's another one. Then they tell you Ebola coming. And then a snowstorm hit. How many of you heard anything about the coronavirus this week? Nobody. Ain't no new cases. Ain't nothing happening. The only thing I heard about the coronavirus was that we got to get the shot out because it's going to go bad because we got buildings with no electricity. They didn't want to give you the shot. The Lord say, I'm going to make you have to give them the shot just to get it out. Go ahead, Art.
Real quick, I haven't heard a peep out the U.S. government and national security about a terrorist threat. I mean, that's gone. I ain't heard nothing about that.
Yeah, you ain't heard about it. You ain't hearing about nothing because the Lord is telling you what to focus on. You want to focus on what you want to focus on. The Lord popping up some new stuff. Because the what?
The plague is begun.
Because it's beginning. This ain't the end. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people are like, I'm glad that's over. Boy, please. It's just beginning. Keep reading.
Concert. Verse 47. And Aaron took as Moses commanded and ran into the midst of the congregation.
This is what we are doing right now. We are going in between the congregation. That's what we're doing. The Isupk, we standing in the gap for you. There's nobody going to the gap. Somebody give me that scripture. You ain't go to the gaps. I think it's in Jeremiah or something like that. You stay where you at, Tapazar. Somebody else, y'all didn't go out into the gaps. You got that, Gabba War? All right, go ahead, Tapazar. Keep reading. What was that, in Ezekiel or something? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, go ahead and read that right there. The gaps. Read that first.
Ezekiel 13:5. Ye have not gone up into the gaps.
You know what the gaps is? That's the streets, the highways, the byways, the hood. You staying up in the mountains where the rich is at. But you're not going out into the gaps. You're not going out. Keep reading.
Neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel.
And you ain't protecting the house of Israel. You're not going out in the streets and you're not protecting them. Go ahead.
To stand in the battle in the day of the Lord.
To stand in the what?
The battle in the day of the Lord.
In the choir battle.
The battle in the
the usher boy battle.
The battle in the day of the Lord.
There is war coming. And see, you know how they got chemical warfare. You know how they got nuclear warfare. They got all these different warfare. Well, the Lord is showing y'all ain't got the weather warfare. I got some warfare y'all ain't even got to yet. I can make you sick, and I can turn off your lights and electricity. You got how do they send off a nuclear bomb?
Like you said, it goes up.
No, how?
Inside the earth.
Give me you sure? Give him the mic.
Electricity.
The what? The whatricity?
Electricity.
Guess what the Lord just showed you? I send a snowstorm over here. Turn off your electricity. It ain't even got to be an EMP. I got an EMP called snow. And turn off your electricity, and you can't do nothing. You can't even press the button. You can press the button all you want, and nothing happened. You can put in 62573. Put in the code all you want. Nothing happening. You ain't ready for the battle. Listen, let me tell you something. The Lord is trying to give you an opportunity to make the fight good. He could have been freed us out of this place, but he want to have a good fight. You know what I'm saying? He wants you to, he giving you time to train. He didn't want to kill you when you had bow and arrows, because it wouldn't have been no fun. You shooting bow and arrows at the chariots. You know what I'm saying? Nothing happened. You got lasers now. So he like, okay, he feeling good about himself. But now he like, but did you think about this? He's giving you the game on how to fight him. Look, did you think about this? See, Texas weak. You got to strengthen their electrical grid, because I don't want to give you no excuse for when I come and step on you. So strengthen up your grid in Texas. Strengthen up your grids. You know, it was doing real bad in Louisiana. Texas needs some salt trucks. Send them salt trucks down here, because they can't drive. They need to get around. But guess what? When they make all these provisions, they gonna help us out too. You see, the Lord ain't just doing it to show them; it's to help us out too. Because we was jammed up in the house and couldn't move. So at least we'll have no power, but we'll be able to get to each other. That's the Lord, and you gotta respect the Lord. You gotta respect him, Go ahead.
He shut down Vegas, Sin City with grasshoppers.
Right. He shut down with grasshopper. Go ahead, Millions of dollars. Go ahead.
That's millions and millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Shut down from grasshopper. You know how much boxes the Lord and stop? You know
the Lord frees somebody from getting some type of disease that week.
If I may,
go ahead.
Speaking about the gaps in Ezekiel, we was at camp the other day. The sister was like, she don't see the Christians come out and doing what we doing. You know what I'm saying? I told her, we were doing this in 1969.
That's right. That's right. That's why it's so important that people see us going out, because now she knows where to look for help at. You know what I'm saying? She know, like, okay, it's not in them. I need to find them guys that was out here on this corner. Where are they? That's where people need to know where to go and find help at. That's why we videotape what we do. That's why we post pictures of us feeding the homeless. We post pictures of us clothing them. We post pictures of us doing what we do at camp, so they can know where to go to get help. Go ahead.
It's like you, sir. The Lord shut down Mardi Gras in Louisiana.
For the second year.
For the second year.
Yeah.
Do you realize how devastating that is to the economy of New Orleans?
Listen, let me tell you something. Last year I did a class on how much money Texas lost in a month. And it was some number that no man could say. I'm telling you, it was the number was from that end of the board to that end of the board. We had to do like 3 rows of number. It was some unforeseen number, and it was just what we could come up with. We didn't even add everything into the equation. That's what the Lord is. The Lord is destroying this place. And if you read the book of Revelations 18, it said that the merchants will be wailing and crying because they will not be able to make trade with them. This place is not able to make trade. I went into HEB the other day, and HEB looked like a warehouse. It was just shelves. Empty warehouse. It's just a sign that say HEB. The only thing they had hanging in there was coupons. I'm not lying, Doc. That's it. Go ahead, Doc.
And what you bringing out is super heavy, Cap, because what you telling us to get, Israel to get their stuff together and separate and things like that and turn to the Lord, because the Lord would have still did more damage and destroyed America, but we're here.
Right.
So he's showing the love because we're here and giving us a chance.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's right. Give him a hand. That's the truth. And so now what we're doing is standing in the gap for our people. We are telling you, listen, we know how to make it stop. All you have to do is atone. You got to just come to the Lord and ask for forgiveness. Now, let me tell you, the snow ain't going to stop. The heat, let me tell you something else. This year's thunderstorms and tornadoes and hurricanes are going to be ridiculous. Listen to me when I tell you. There is going to be the biggest hurricane that ever hit. You thought hurricane season was bad recently? All that cold ice get in that Pacific? It's used to having cold ice coming from Michigan, but not the Gulf. And when all that cold ice come out the Gulf and meet in the Atlantic, listen, it's going to be a Hurricane Shaquita coming. And you know she a baby mama. She coming with the havoc. Listen to me, brother. I'm telling you. If y'all wasn't ready for the snowstorm, y'all better get ready for Lucretia. Because she coming. Now, let me tell you another thing that's going to be hot popping. The heat. It's about to be as hot as, brother. Listen, it's going to be hot. I couldn't even say what I wanted to say. It's going to be hot as Vegas box. I can say that much. It's going to be hot. Get ready for the heat. Go to Walmart, get you a window unit. Try to get you a generator. Yeah, you look, boys got that generator in their vocabulary now, huh? I see you learn. Yeah, see that's wisdom. Wisdom is what you learn after you go through stuff. See, at first, Commander Junior Hunter tried to give you the game so you wouldn't have to know it through wisdom. That was the point of him giving it to us beforehand, so you wouldn't have to learn it the hard way. Wisdom is learning it the hard way. That's why they have gray, because they learned it the hard way. There you go. Get brother head with a head full of gray. You know what I'm saying? Damn right. All right, go ahead, finish that scripture.
Sir. Verse 47. And Aaron took as Moses commanded and ran into the midst of the congregation. And behold, the plague was begun among the people. And he put on incense and made an atonement for the people. Mm-hmm. And he stood between the dead and the living.
Stop. That's my favorite part right now. He stood between who?
The dead and the living.
He stood in the gaps. Let me tell you something. The dead are the people in the world. Right. And we are the living. And in Revelation, it said, hurt not the oil or the wine or any that have the seal of the Lord on their head, but hurt those that hurt the sea. Right. Hurt those that are not the living. The plague comes for the sinners. That's who the plague is for. It's for the unrighteous. That is why we have to prepare to be for all of this stuff so that we don't suffer with the dead. Right. And we stand in between you and we wave the incense to try to stop the plague. Right. from happening to the living. Because the dead is dead and the plague is taking them. Keep reading.
Count on one concert. And the plague was stayed. Verse 49. Now they that died in the plague were 14,700.
It was nothing that he could do for those 14,000. But go ahead.
Beside them that died about the matter of Korah. And Aaron returned unto Moses unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the plague was stayed.
Let me tell you something. We know what to do to make sure that things stop, and we know how to keep you safe in the plague. All you got to do is come here and come and listen to the men of the Lord, because we have the answers. You understand? That's why Christ is called an intercessor. He's the man that stands in the gap, stands in between. Look up the definition of an intercessor. You understand? And we are able to pray for you because the Lord hears not the prayer of sinners. You sending up all these prayers and the Lord is not, he's not listening to the things that you're crying and asking for, because you are asking for him to give you lights while you have a blunt in your mouth. Listen, me and my wife this week, we went, my wife is so kind. Give her a hand.
Right.
Because she's very kind. Some woman on Facebook said she needed some milk for her baby. And the mother in her just was, oh, we got to go and take her the milk. Now, the snow, the ice on the ground is this thick. We driving to the woman, the car sliding every which way. And she looking straight ahead like, we got to get to her because she need the milk. And I'm looking at her like, we really don't have to go. You know, the Lord is doing this to them. You know, this is the Lord. I don't want to stop the Lord's judgment. You know what I'm saying? But I can see the determination in her eyes was to get this baby some milk. So we get to the apartment complex. As soon as we pull in the front, my car gets stuck in some ice. And the heat of the Lord's anger started welling inside of me. And I started getting mad, and something just said, reverse. And I backed the truck up, and I was able to go in. We pull up at the apartment complex. When I opened the door, what did you smell when I opened the door? They stayed on the second floor. I opened the door, and the weed slapped me in the nose as soon as I opened my truck door. It was so much weed coming out the house. They had all the windows up in the apartment with fans in the window trying to suck the weed out the house. And it was coming all on the sidewalk where we was at. And I'm taking her these cans of milk, and she high as eagle nuts at the top of the stairs. She like, you here for you? I got 2 things of milk in my hand. You here with the milk? No, I just walk in with milk. And I threw her the milk, and I left. Yeah, I threw her the milk. I ain't even take it to her. Nah, she was on the top floor. I just threw it up to the top floor, and I went on by my way. But I forgot my whole point in saying that. Incest, thank you. We was standing in the gap for her. This sister needed something. She knew who to call. And somebody had to do it, because she had a house full of men that didn't care about that baby. It was about 4 or 5 dudes in the house. I see silhouettes through the window. You know, I'm on Shamar. I'm ready. I see about 4 or 5 dudes in the window like this. That's what they cared about. They had lights because I could see them. They had lights in the house. They were fine, but they didn't care about that baby. The righteous have to stand in between the dead and the living. That's why we are here, because we have compassion. Our compassion is what saved that baby's life. Go ahead, Al.
Like it, sir, if I could, man. It's something about that baby. The Lord wanted that baby to have that milk. That baby, man, it's a like it, sir. That baby is special.
Well, Lord willing, we'll find out that baby is in the truth. If Christ ain't back yet and he come in and say, I remember one day when I was a little baby, Somebody brought my mama some milk that saved my life and left her this card. Because I left her a card. I said, this is who provided this milk. Commander Junior Hunter. And listen. And I chunked her that milk. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, but yeah, knowing them, they probably using that card to bust the seeds out. Good night, brother. I hope the Lord burn their fingers. Go ahead. Give me the definition of intercession.
Khan, sir. Intercessor. A person who intervenes on behalf of another, especially by prayer.
That's us. We are intervening on behalf of you because you can't go to the Lord and ask for no help. Because you got the blunt in your mouth while your baby starve. All right. I think I got one more I want to go. Let me get Luke 13. Go ahead. When? When I got there? When I got to her house? No, she didn't say nothing. Oh, she sure did. Oh my God. Before we got there, we was see, this is what almost made me not go right here. This is what made me start questioning everything. And you can ask my wife. I started to think she was a devil. Because my wife said, do you need anything for yourself for us to bring for you, while we're on our way? She said, yeah, you got some smoke. And when she said that, I said, let me see her profile. And I started looking and I couldn't find nothing in there. And I started typing, what's your nationality? But I seen that she was a sister. But yeah, she did ask for some weed. She did. And she needs somebody to have compassion on her. Now, I could have said, you wicked adulterous sinner. You don't deserve the milk from the Most High. No, we went and took her the milk. And hopefully one day she comes into the truth and changes her life and put down the weed like we all did. Right. You understand? All right. Now let me get that. Let me get that Luke. 13 what, sir? Oh boy. Luke 13.
Verse 6?
Start at 6.
Come. He spake also this parable. Salakia, Luke 13, verse 6. He spake also this parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came and sought fruit thereon.
Now, this is Christ. He's giving you a parable about compassion. He's giving you a parable about compassion to let you know that the way the Most High works, if you don't have what he wants from you when he asks you for it, he will kill you. That's how the Lord works. If the Lord comes to you and he wants something from you and you ain't got it, then there's no need for you anymore. Go ahead.
Salakia. He came and sought fruit thereon and found none.
Mm-hmm.
Then said he unto the dresser of his vineyard, behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on this fig tree and find none.
You see that? He came to him 3 times looking for fruit from this man and this woman. And that's all of us before we got into the truth. Before we got into the truth, the Lord kept coming to us to look and see. And we were not ready. We were not. We were wicked sinners. We were Christians. We were Muslims. We were into every belief that was under the sun. And if it wasn't for the Lord's compassion, we would all be dead. You got to have compassion too. That is something your leaders don't have. That man that said, all these people that ain't got this and all that, we don't owe you nothing. He's not compassionate. He's not fit to be a leader, and he would never be a leader for our King Christ. Keep reading.
Sir. Then said he unto the dresser of his vineyard, Behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on this fig tree, and find none. Cut it down. Why cumbereth it the ground?
Why? Let's cut it down, and because it's taking up space. We don't even need this tree here. What did he say?
Verse 8, and he answering said unto him, Lord, let it alone this year also, till I shall dig about it and dung it.
Till I should do what?
Dig about it and dung it.
Let me dig around it and start some shit. That's what it said. Let me start up the grass. Let me stimulate the soil. And then let me put some manure in there and let me help it grow. Let me give it time to help it grow. The snow is the time to help you grow. That freeze it was done so that you can say, you know what? I need to reevaluate things. The Lord could have killed me this week, and He didn't. So now let me try to get something together, man, because something ain't right. And that's what the Lord is doing. He's trying to give you some time to change your life, because He keep coming over and looking at you, and you ain't bearing Him no fruit. He keep looking and saying he late. He ain't moving like I want him to. Keep reading.
Verse 9. And if it bear fruit, well. And if not, then after that thou shalt cut it down.
You know who that was talking? An intercessor. Somebody was vouching for that man. Somebody was vouching for that tree to say, you know what? Give it some time, sir. If you could give it a little more time. If he ain't ready by the next time you come to look at him, he ain't got no fruit, then oh well, kill him. That's what our job is. Our job is like Moses. Moses said, the Lord was like, I'm finna kill all of them. And he was like, I'm gonna just start the Mosesites. I'm gonna just make the seed out of you. And he was like, well, Salakia, sir, if you do that, then our enemy is gonna laugh at you. And they're gonna say that you just brought them out here to destroy us. And because the Lord is a living God and not an idol, His mind can be changed. What you should do is try to change the Lord's mind about killing you. That's what you should do. You should try to prove to the Lord that you are worth living. And the only way that you can do that is by giving an atonement. You giving your life up. The life you want to live. You know how you like to do the things you like to do. Well, let's stop doing what you like to do and let's start doing what Christ want to do. Because Christ would have wanted to live a long life like Noah. He would have wanted to live a long life, but he didn't because he had to die for you. Now, let me show you what Christ will do to you if you ain't ready when He come. Let me get Luke 19. And I'm going to close on this. You start at 21.
Come on, sir. Luke chapter 19, verse, you sure 21?
What, you see something else? Yeah, I'm going to start at 21.
Oh, come on, sir. Salakia. Luke 19, verse 21. For I fear thee, because thou art an austere man.
Okay, so let me give you a little backdrop. This is the Lord giving each man a talent, a gift, right? And He gave one man 1, He gave one 5, and He gave one 10. And when He came back, the one with 10 multiplied it, and the one with 5 multiplied it. But the one with 1, he didn't multiply it. He dug it up in the ground and hid it until the man came back. And that's some of you. Some of you are excellent brothers and sisters, but you are sitting on your hands and you're not working. But every time we talk about, hey, Most High in Christ to all the brothers and sisters that help with this, you're the first one to share it. Yeah, Most High in Christ, we did do that. And when you were sitting on your hands, saying I'm not helping. Yeah, but you love for the praise. And if somebody don't mention you in the praise, then you wanna complain. Well, guess what? This is what happens to you when you sit on your hands and Christ expects more from you and you don't produce. Read.
Sir. For I fear thee, because thou art an austere man.
Austere. Let's find the definition of that. So you can find out what type of spirit Christ has. Go ahead. Anybody got it?
The definition of austere: stern, strict, harsh, unfeeling, stony, steely, flintly.
Yeah, it's some more on there.
Door, grim,
cold, frosty, frigid. Not just frosty, frigid,
icy, chilly.
You know why he keep using all these cold words? Because he cold. He cold-hearted. He ain't so warm and loving and all compassionate. He cold. And cold is not something you can deal with. You can deal with the heat a little bit, but you can't deal with that cold. And Christ is a cold brother. Go ahead. What you going to say, God War? All right, go ahead. That's it on that? Go ahead.
Unemotional.
That's it. He's not oh, my son, I love you. That's not Christ. He's unemotional. You sit there with all that crying and all that, Lord, 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 and he looking at you like, say, man, somebody come get rid of him. Keep reading.
Unfriendly.
Oh, no, not my Jesus. See, your Jesus is friendly. Yeah, what a friend we have in Jesus. Thank you. That's your Jesus. My Jesus, the Jesus that's in the Bible, he's unfriendly. He's not friendly like us. You don't see us nowhere and be like, hey, what's going on? You see us and say, you hit us with one of these from across the room. And when you don't get one back, you don't feel bad because, you wasn't close. Unfriendly. Go ahead.
Formal.
Mm-hmm.
Stiff.
What?
Stiff.
Wavery.
Stiff.
Go ahead.
Stuffy.
Go ahead.
Reserved.
He ain't in the mix with everybody. He chilling. He reserved. Go ahead.
Remote.
Mm-hmm.
Distant.
What?
Distant.
Wait, together.
Distant.
Unified.
Distant.
Christ was distant. Christ was holy, separate, unfriendly, stiff, frosty, flint. Keep reading.
Aloof.
Far off. That's it? Some more?
Come.
Keep reading.
Forbidding. Mean looking.
What kind of looking?
Mean looking.
Mean looking. This is Christ. So this what makes this scripture so powerful. When you find out the spirit of Christ and how he was, this man said, you are an austere man. You mean looking. I feared you because you're not friendly. Now read that scripture. Finish it off. It's some more? Oh, okay. Keep reading it. I don't want to shortchange it.
Grave.
Mm-hmm.
Solemn.
Mm-hmm.
Serious. Unsmiling. Unsympathetic.
Damn. I'm getting more and more afraid as I hear the adjectives. Go ahead.
Unforgiving.
Stop right there. Wait a minute. Christ is what?
Unforgiving.
I thought your Jesus was all forgiving. That rod you was blowing yesterday for that cigarette? He forgive you for it. Because Jesus forgives. That's that lifestyle you live, God forgives. You can't judge me because, I believe in Jesus and he forgives you for everything. Christ is unforgiving. He's not trying to hear any excuses. That's what that means. He don't want to hear your excuses. Keep going.
Uncharitable.
And what?
Uncharitable.
Unloving. Now, you say God is all love. We don't believe that. That's not what we believe in. Now, finish that scripture. Give him the mic back. Good night. I'm finna start reading that at camp. Next time somebody say God is all love, let's go to the adjectives of austere and read that and then make them prove that God is love. Go ahead.
Concert. Verse 21. For I fear thee, because thou art an austere man.
You are unforgiving. You are mean. Go ahead.
Concert. Thou takest up that thou layest not down.
What does that mean? To take up what you don't lay down. That means I put it down, you pick it up. I'm like, hey, that's mine. Oh, no, that's ours. We're going to just keep the bike at my house. That's my bike. Well, it's both of our bike. We just going to keep it at your house. That's Christ. Go ahead.
And reapest that thou did not sow.
I plant the tree. I come outside, ain't no fruit on the tree, and you sitting under the tree eating the fruit. That's Christ. That's my king. Keep reading.
Verse 22. And he saith unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee.
He said, if you knew all of this, then you are going to condemn yourself. If you know this about me and you dug up and hid what I gave you, because of what you just said is why I'm going to treat you the way I'm about to treat you. Keep reading.
Concert. Thou wicked servant.
Mm-hmm.
Thou knewest that I was an austere man,
Mm-hmm.
taking up that I laid not down,
Mm-hmm.
and reaping that I did not sow.
You know what type of man I am. Keep going.
Concert, verse 23. Wherefore then gavest thou not my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury?
He said, why didn't you put my money in bank to gain interest on it? So that when I came back, it was more than what you had. You just left my money in the ground to where it couldn't increase. It couldn't grow. No, man. No, I ain't having that. Keep going. I'm trying to get to the end now.
Concert, verse 24. And he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound and give it unto him that hath 10 pounds.
Let me tell you something. That's what Christ is going to do to you that sit on your hands and don't do no work. He going to take what you got and give it to somebody else and say, okay, this brother, you got 10 cities. Hey, give yours to him because he know what I like. Yeah, now you got 11 cities. Good job. You, come here. Go ahead.
Concert. And they said unto him, Lord, he hath 10 pounds. For I say unto you, that unto every one which hath shall be given, and from him that hath not, even that he hath shall be taken away from him.
Everybody that got it, I'm going to give you more, and if you ain't got it, I'm going to take more away from you. If you're not giving me back what I put into you, you know how many times the Lord done saved your life? You know how many times you should have been dead? You should have been raped in the alley, laid down, bleeding somewhere, and the Lord saved your life, and you can't come in here and give him what he's due? That is a direct slap in the face, especially this type of man. It's different if he's all loving and all forgiving and all this and that. But the fact that he's a stiff brother from the hood that don't play, he don't take too lightly to that. It's not it's not just a small thing to him. He's highly offended because you are not taking him serious. You got to remember, he's our king. And kings don't play with people. Especially not a black one. Go ahead.
Concert. Verse 27. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them.
Stop. Why is he saying that this person don't want him to rule over them? Because he knew that Christ was all mean, and all of that, and he didn't care. So he is a wicked person to Christ because he didn't fear Christ. He's wicked. So, hey fam, give yours to him that got the 10, and you come here. You come over here. You getting a rank raise, and he getting brought back down to trooper. Your name is no longer trooper. Your name is Darnell. Young man Darnell, you come right here. Those mine enemies. Not only are you Darnell, you are now a heathen and a publican to me. You are now not my brother. You are now an enemy to me. That's what's going to happen to your leaders. Your leaders are now enemies to our king because they didn't stand in the gaps. They didn't warn you about the destruction that was coming to you. They didn't help you when the storm came. So now, since they didn't help you, they are an enemy. That's right. Those mine enemies do what? They what?
Kind of one concert. But those mine enemies which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
You're going to die in front of our king for being such a wicked leader and not caring about the people. What we're trying to do is show him that you got uses for me, sir. So like, I'm going to work. I'm going to increase this penny. I'm going to go wherever I got to go and do whatever I got to do because I know that to be a leader is to be a servant. That's what a real leader is. A real leader is a servant. Those that are great amongst you will be the chiefest of servants. That's what our king taught. That's why he died for us. He showed the ultimate servitude and gave his life. Now, what are you willing to give up? You can't give up weed? Oh, okay. No problem. Come on. Just come on. I'm gonna cut all that short. Go ahead, Art.
If I could, sir, like that's a prime example of, when you said, hey, you got 10, well, give me that. I'm gonna give this to you, so you have 11. That's the ISUPK because that's why we had a phase where a lot of pastors and stuff was losing buildings and we was gaining them.
Right.
And you brought something out. I believe it might have been a couple weeks ago. I can't remember about how the George R. Brown and all these other places, like we gonna gain that increase because the Lord gonna take it from them and give it to us because we working.
Right. That's it. Give them a hand. That's exactly what's happening. Go ahead, Ashana Posh.
Ain't nothing more gangster than that.
Real talk. And that's what's gonna happen. This is the UPK takeover. That's right. We taking over the world. Listen, the Proud Boys know who the real leaders are. They know where real black excellence is. And I'm done. Anybody got any questions? All right, with that, we're gonna pass the class over to let me see which one of y'all. Go ahead, Officer Konaz, give him a hand.
Security announcements. We're at ISUPK, start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, Mayasharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations is the Feast of Purim, which is the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. which will be Thursday, February 25th, and Friday, February 26th of 2021. The corresponding scriptures for that will be Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 through 31. If any brother wants to become a trooper in the school, you ought to wear all black, boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarf. And also, brothers and sisters, when you come to the school, Google search it and get the directions. And once you arrive, click the website button, and any pictures you have, you can upload them there.
And this is the security announcements. The water. I appreciate it. With that, Amajim, we're going to turn to face these. Say the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Baba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Asha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Hashemayim, Natananawa, Lakam, Kal, Wayam, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawaf Nawi, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawaf Yanawa, Wala'ah, Sabaya Ayanawa, Manasaya 1, Abal, Shayanawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wahala, Wahatapara, La Awalamyam, Amad. In the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts and lead us not into temptation. Oh, my bad. And we forgive our debtors and lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. So be it. Prayer of the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, the name of Yahweh Shah. Listen to us now. Right now. Sin, evils, and curses, and punishment and destruction, and death to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers and the schools. Sin, evils, and curses, and punishment and destruction, and death to the heathen, and shake loose the pockets of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Sin, evils, and curses, and punishment and destruction, and death to the Edomite, and death to the Edomite, and the nations, and their drug dealers, the court system, prison system, Planned the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogue and armies, Roman Catholic Church, Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Pascavatazi, gay movement, lesbian movement, spies and workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine, Wall Street, open up the internet, and the airwaves, the cable access channel, the radio channel, conflict of spirits of any of our people that seek to stop us. Bring swift death to all the heathens that stand in the way and try to stop us from broadcasting our words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the terrorists. Let loose all the terrorists. Let loose all the terrorists. And cause them
them to go to and fro in the earth. And destroy it. And cause the terrorists to come against America. And destroy them in their strongholds. Let America shake at the hand of the terrorists. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and kill all the heathen that come against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all. Cause it to be known by all. That it was the angels who have done it. Cause it to spread throughout the media. And throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua. The water always. So be it. So, turn face to front. Courtesy salute to the brothers, men of Israel. Amadium Shabbat. Amadium. Barak. How about Shem Yahushua Barakatah? Yazamatah. So, face the sisters. Amadium Shabbat. Sisters. Men of Israel. Amadium Shabbat. Amadium. Barak. Yahweh Shemal Athar B'Hashem Yahushua. Yazamatah. Dismiss.